Let's talk about site information modeling.
Yeah, so this was a little bit of background on Newark, Delaware. It's very close to sea level, so there's a lot of groundwater that's not at all very deep below surface. So you can see our in the image here, our deep foundation system. It's all on micropiles, and there's a lot of existing infrastructure that's serving campus here. So we had a lot of things to work around when putting in new utility infrastructure for our building. So we challenged RK&K, our civil engineer, to use Civil 3D and work with our landscape folks to model not only the existing infrastructure but also all of the proposed, so that we could ensure that it was going to be above sea level, it was above groundwater, and that it was all coordinated so that we weren't digging up trenches that had telecom systems in them, or rerouting sanitary or storm lines, that it all kind of worked together as a new seamless package. And that was really important because this was all being done before any of the excavation was going to start happening for the building, so that it was an early package to do all of the site work. And the lines that were going to come into the building were installed prior to the foundation walls going in place. So a little bit out of sequence, but that's why the extra level of coordination was required. So we were able to optimize the layout simply by doing a little more due diligence in modeling the site work as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is, where did you get all this information from? Because usually it's on some, very inaccurate plan. You call, on a slew of inaccurate plans. So how do you have any idea where all this stuff is?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a good combination of ground penetrating radar, GPR, and potholing, digging down and actually finding these things, and looking at as-builts, which you are absolutely right, they're rarely correct, but all of those things let us get as close as we possibly could to finding the existing utilities, so that we could hopefully build in a little bit of tolerance to avoid them as we put new work in.
Okay. So it wasn't like you guys were given some sort of GIS model or something that had all this stuff already in it, but you guys did good old-fashioned, kind of iterating between as-builds and then going out there and, really checking to see what's there in order to make it happen.
Absolutely right. I would love to have a GIS model of existing infrastructure, but not too many entities have those things.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, maybe move into some of the later stages of this project. And here, maybe actually let's take a moment. This is the final result of all that gritty work.
So just to point out that there are some bioswales built into the landscape here to take a lot of the runoff from the building and the roof areas to allow ground to allow stormwater to naturally go back into the ground, rather than adding it to an already overburdened storm system. So
is that maybe these sections here? Is that what these are?
Yeah, there's a, I wish I could point to it, but there's a sort of right above your cursor there's an area where there are orange ground cover
These guys?
and grasses. Yep. And then on the other side of the sidewalk, there's another one. Yep, and then to the north of the sidewalk on the opposite side, there's a large one on that side. So all of those areas were calculated into the stormwater runoff calcs.